Tolu Kola, he's a flyer of the highest order. Oh! What an extraordinary final try! Wow! 22 each!
Well, they were outstanding in 2024. One of the great finishes in a couple of those games throughout the regular season. And this man is at the helm. He's always so giving with his time with Sportsday. And he's just signed a new 2-year extension as well, which is great news for the club and the fans as well. Anthony Seibold from the Seagulls joins us before Christmas on Sportsday. How are you, Seibs?
Yeah, I'm well, Satts. I'm good to chat to you guys. And hello, Michelle, as well.
Hello, hello.
So
Congratulations.
Congratulations. 2-year extension, a little bit more security. But what I did read with interest, Seibs, is that the hierarchy at Manly said, we feel as though that Manly have found the Manly way again. So to the outsider looking on the inside, to not knowing what that is, what has always been the Manly way?
Well, I think one of the things that I try to do, mate, you're certainly coming back into a club in the area that I sort of lived in. Even when I was coaching other clubs, I lived in the area. And so, the Northern Beaches community is really passionate about the Seagulls, and the legacy of the people who've come before us is enormous. You know, I mean, you think about the success of Manly during the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s has been, it's been quite immense. And so, we really tried to recognise that. We really tried to engage the ex-players to try and, bring them in and help educate us, including myself, on what the Manly way was. And the storytelling that kept coming back was around, training hard, working for your teammate, putting the team first, and so all this sort of storytelling from guys like Beaver Menzies and Cliffy Lyons and Max Krilich and even Terry Randall, we had Terry come down last year, has all been around, that mentality. And it's about, putting your teammates first, or putting the team first rather, about the effort parts of the game. And then, Manly over the years have had really talented players as well. So it's just been really trying to get a real, clear understanding of the DNA of the club. And then, we're the guardians of the club at the moment. And although I didn't play for Manly, we've got a lot of people connected with the club in and around the group. And, we want to try and represent the people in the Northern Beaches and all the Manly supporters, around Australia as best we can. So that's the Manly way. The Manly way is around training hard, playing hard, and putting the team first.
Steves, what about some of the things, when you entered the role there at Manly, it was a bit of a tough time on the back of the Pride jersey. There was sort of, I guess a bit of a rift amongst the players. I was actually privy to seeing some of the work that you were doing with the boys in that pre-season, and that was, away from the football field and getting the boys to know each other and go and have coffees and do different exercises. What have you done, if you can tell our listeners, to basically bring the team together and reach the finals for the first time since 2021?
Yeah, well, you're right, Michelle. Probably the first 12 months probably didn't impact the scoreboard as much as we wanted. I think we had a 50% season in 2023, but we spent a whole heap of time trying to connect the group. And, we had what we call docs groups, which are duty of care groups. And for the listeners, it was just sort of 6 players and a staff member. And once a week, they'd go and do something away from footy just to get to know each other a bit better. And it could be something as simple as doing a recovery session at the beach and a coffee afterwards, or it could be on a Tuesday afternoon, which is one of the days that we finish a little bit earlier, going to have a game of 10-pin bowling together or going for lunch together. It was just really simple things, but about spending time. It was also about trying to be a bit vulnerable and do a bit of storytelling. So we used a concept called Triple H, which is where you share, a highlight, a hero, and a hardship that you've had to endure. And it's really a lot of storytelling and a lot of getting to know each other, because I think that was going to be more important for the group than, me talking about the X's and the O's, which are important because we play a sport, but I just felt as though we needed to invest some time in that. So, look, we're not where we, want to be and where we feel like we can get to. We got the opportunity to try and take the group to the next level over the next couple of seasons. And, look, we felt as though we've made some real gains off the field, and we made some really good gains on the field last year. But, we really want to continue to grow as a group, and we can't assume that, when the guys come back, the start of this pre-season that it's the same connector group that we had last year. We've got to start again, and that's what we're trying to do. Don't assume that the guys remember all the work we did away from the footy field. And as I said, we got beaten week 2. We want to try and be there week 4, and there's a whole heap of other teams who are trying to do the same thing. So, we can't sit still. We can't assume that the group's as connected as much as we think they are. We've got to continue to grow that part of our footy club.
Yeah, I love that, Seibs. Connection and communication. It's so important, isn't it, than the X and O's? Just connection and communication between the playing groups. So, you had an off-season signing, a couple of off-season signings. Of course, Siwa Taukei'aho from Catalans, but anytime I've spoken to anyone at the Warriors, and this is going to be difficult for him to break away from a club like the Warriors, Jazz Tevaga, but the only things I ever heard about Jazz Tevaga was a guy that, well, we know he plays well above his weight, but we talk about the connection with the playing group, how popular he was. Siebes at New Zealand, have you started to see that as he's blending into a new family?
Yeah, definitely, mate. He's only had 3 weeks with us, and he actually asked to start earlier than he was required to by the RLPA. He went away with the Samoan side to play against England in 2 tests. So he played some international footy, but he requested to come in a little bit earlier, and so he's been great. He got Trainer of the Week last week. But the thing I see about him is just toughness, and you're right, he's a real competitor at training. When I had a chat to him, he was on Zoom a few times, and I sort of didn't get an opportunity to meet him in person until he had already signed, but got a good feel for him over the Zoom. Obviously did quite a bit of homework on him as a character and so on, and the feedback kept coming back that he was a real sort of popular figure because of his competitiveness and his the effort parts of what he does at trainer, but also off the field. Just one of those guys that connect. And he's very close to a guy called Toff Sipley, who's a really good footy player for us here at the club. And Toff spoke very highly and said that he'll add to our group. And Jazz's whole motivation is about trying to add value to our group. And I feel like the early signs of what he's brought to our group has been really positive. And we've got great competition in the spots that he plays in. So he's come in with a real desire to work hard, and I think he's played 130 odd NRL games, so he's got great experience, and he'll add value to our group. I can already see that.
Hey, Siebes, I mean, you look at the size of your forward pack. Like you mentioned Sipley, and you and I were both forwards, but I'm pretty sure we would have got chewed up and spat out if we played in this day and age.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Yeah.
I want to just...
Yeah, no, there's some big guys there.
Yeah.
There's some big guys. Sorry,
No,
Michelle.
right.
Yeah, no, just to answer Satts. Yeah, there's some big guys there. I think, Tanyala, Paseka and Hamala Lakawatu and Toff Sipley, those sorts of guys are really big guys. So, they bring plenty of power. And then, we just, again, got to marry that up with, the workers. So that's what we're trying to do at the moment.
We talk about depth being in clubs, obviously so important. We're obviously reading the news that Daly Cherry-Evans may or may not continue, to play football beyond 2026?
Yeah.
Where do you go? 25? Sorry, where do you go for a replacement like Daly Cherry-Evans?
Yeah, no, he's a pretty special player. And the 2 years I've been here, I think he won Player of the Year in our first year, my first year here. And then, I thought he was very consistent last year as well. Turbo won the award, but I thought Ches had another really consistent year. So he's been in really good touch. I'm not sure what, we want to sort of give Ches the opportunity to play a bit of footy and see what he wants to do. I think he's a little bit undecided, so we just give him that space that he needs. Going forward, we've tried to sign some young halves to help develop underneath Ches while he's here. Joey Walsh, Anthony Large, 2 young guys who we've brought into our squad, and Ches has got a real desire to try and develop those guys, and share his experience with them as well. But I think it's hard to replace Daly Cherry-Evans. There's no doubt about that. But we've got a couple of plans in place with those younger guys. But we really narrow focus for Ches this year and ourselves as a club this year. And once we know sort of what Ches's plans are, then we can sort of make some other plans according to that.
Now, the suggestions, Siebes, and I want you to take your Manly hat off and that you're coaching Tommy Trbojevic. I want you to look from purely from a coaching perspective outside of the club. and there's suggestions that, Tommy Trbojevic would move to 6 and Luke Brooks to 7 and Lehigh Hopewadi to 1. Just purely from a coaching perspective, could you see Tommy Trbojevic making a number 6 jersey his own? Could he handle it?
Well, I'm probably a bit biased. So, I just think Turbo's one of the most talented and gifted players that I've coached. And I've been really fortunate to coach a whole heap of really good players over my time at a few different clubs. But I think Turbo can play any position in the back line. I think he's already shown that. He's played fullback, he's played winger at club level, he's played centre at Origin level and for Australia. And I think he could play in the halves, So, look, that's been suggested. Certainly my thinking is Turbo will play fullback for us this year. And young Lehigh is a really talented player. He'll play in the outside backs because he's such a good player and he can learn his craft under Turbo. But I sort of don't have any definitive, plans around moving Turbo. I just know that he's our best fullback in 2025. And but I've got no doubt, like if he decided that he wanted to move positions at any time, or we made that decision, he would handle whatever number we put on his jersey. He's such a diligent, pro, and he's an elite player, as everyone can see.
Yep, nice. Hey, so Saturday, 8th of March is the first game, 6:35, 4 Pines Park, home game on a Saturday night against the Cowboys. And before we let you go, Siebes, the boy from Rockhampton, is he surfing yet?
He's not surfing, mate. No, I haven't learned yet. My wife has. She's a Canberra girl. So I'm not, mate. I get in the water and I do a bit of body surfing, but my wife can surf and I can't. So she sort of lets me know about that.
Great stuff. Yeah. Hey, Siebes, thank you very much, mate. Have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you throughout the season.
Good on you guys. Great to chat, Satts and Michelle. Take care. Have a good Chrissy, guys, and thanks to all the Manly supporters out there. So, we're working really hard to try and continue to grow the club.